Yo, what's up everyone? Sven here and welcome to my first base build video ever. Actually, one of my first videos on my YouTube channel ever. So, first of all, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being interested in this build. Yeah, let's jump straight into it. So, this is the base. I'd like to call it the disguised shell 3x3. And the reason it's called like that is simply because inside is a 3x3, but from the outside it doesn't really look like a 3x3. Base builders know that this is a 3x3, although, yeah, I like it because people don't expect it's 3x3, and this can be built in several variants, and on top of that, you can build this out of a 3x3, so no starter needed, you just build your basic 3x3 and build your base around. You can also honeycomb this if you like. Raiders won't know what's inside, and raiders will probably not even know there's a 3x3 inside. So, if they check the raid cost, for example, here, if they start calculating triangles, minus the shooting floor, of course, it looks like it's quite an expensive base. Could be a lot of walls, and yeah, but therefore disguised. So, yeah, TC's around as well, just to take over the building privilege. And yeah, this is the front door. Little corridor here, just to make the raid costs the same as how they would be if they would go through the metal wall. In here all open. I'll get back to that, why that's all open like this and why I like it like that when we are on the Peakdown floor. So here we have the entrance of our 3x3. This here is basically a normal 3x3. You can see here, upkeep of this base is 22k metal frags and 364 high call. High call, I know it's quite expensive, but if you have a group of 8 people and you're building this base and you're gonna be online rated, this is nothing. You just do some oil rigs and you know. Either way, you could also decide to not make any of this armor. Then you'd have only metal, pretty much, you know. You know the drill. Anyway, I don't know why this is not armored. This is, of course, without all the doors, without all the stuff like that, because I didn't put all the doors, I didn't put the loot rooms, and that's simply because I want to give you guys the impression and make sure that you guys know that it's never good to put the same loot room as a YouTube video. Just put random loot room somewhere, random TCs, and fill this up how you like. It doesn't matter in the base strength. So yeah. Either way, 22k, it's probably going to end up at about 25k metal frags. So, go up in your normal 3x3. That stuff I'm not going to go through. It's a basic 3x3. Loot rooms everywhere. As you noticed, actually, the TC is on bottom floor. Now, I would really recommend to put the TC on a higher floor. That's simply because raiders will most likely splash damage something like that. They will probably like find the door here and blow on exactly the opposite. Somewhere here. They would splash damage this. They wouldn't have TC in this case, although yeah, there's a pretty high chance they get TC. Usually I end up putting TC on the 3rd floor. If you do decide to do that, make sure you do that before you place all the 4 external TCs. Because TC gets destroyed, and these TCs are out here, you're not going to be able to put it back. So, yeah, just a little tip there. Anyway, let's get back inside the 3x3. We are on 2nd level now. We just dropped down. This is 3rd level. This will be Peakdown. So before opening that door, we're going to talk about the Peakdowns here. You can see there is in total 8 garage doors all around, and these can all be used as bedrooms. So, you can see here, nice little bedroom. Now, make these bedrooms random. They don't have to be symmetrical. Some can be bigger than others. Most importantly is a bed and a locker, a box, you know. So, here you have our Peakdowns, and this is what I like about this base the most. The Peakdowns, the way the Peakdowns are made. I really like them like this, and as you can see, there's quite a big angle when it comes to the Peakdowns going outwards. Some bases you will see, most 3x3s, they'd have a wall about like this with honeycomb. As you can see, the angle in where you can shoot is very small. So let's just say, let me just fake a breach here real quick. Let's just say raiders are raiding you, they are breaching through this gap here, and they start getting into your inner peaks. Now, normally speaking, you would have a very small angle there to shoot them. Basically, they could peek, you could shoot them, but you have a chance that you won't even kill them when they do that. So yeah. This 3x3, however, the whole outer layer is open. So what I really like about these peakdowns is the angle in the peakdowns. And let's just say, for example, a raider would breach about here. They would splash damage, of course. I'm not sure why that was. That happened from earlier, sorry. Anyway, yeah, you'll notice that this peakdown floor tile will be gone. That's why the turrets are so important. But you can see the angle here is immense. Like, you can almost see all the way outside. Sometimes in some angles, you might even be able to see your own compound walls. You can get a lot of sneaky angles from pretty much 50% of your peakdowns because of the way the breach is angled to the peakdowns. So something I very much like. Now, sorry if the shooting floor is destroyed. I just wanted to show you guys why I like this base so much. So, shooting floor, pretty much all speaks for itself. Nice little shell around. Sorry for using shell so much, but yeah, it's very important to have this. But I'll get back into that when we start building this thing. And yeah, your basic shooting floor, and then on top of that, your basic roof. So that's pretty much the base. Now, let's talk about the building cost. So to build this base, you're going to need 19,562 wood, aka 20k. You're going to need 70k metal frags, exactly 68,310. And you're going to need about 1200 high qual. Now, it sounds a lot, the high qual, but again, this base is very friendly for upgrading. And what I mean with that is, if you were to have only stone, or you have a lot of stone, you can still build this whole base and basically start upgrading as when you want. I would really recommend to have this whole thing metal up, because it is indeed a very weak base against offline raids. I think I shouldn't say that. It's quite strong actually with all the turrets and stuff, but you know, it's only like one metal layer, one armored layer, and some doors, and they have your loot. So in that sense, it is quite weak. But again, base is very focused on online raids, not offline raids. I would strongly suggest to only build this if you are with a 6 to 8 man team. 6 man is definitely possible. And I would strongly suggest, if you're online a lot, to build this. If you're not, don't even bother about touching this. It's not recommended at all. So yeah, that's the resources needed. The upkeep is, in this case, 367 high qual and 21,000 metal frags, actually 22k. With all the doors, it's going to end up going to about 25k metal frags. And of course, the armored, the high qual is mostly because the whole 3x3 is armored. I would try to do this in the end if you can. But it's not that much for this base, so to say. So, yeah, that's the base. I hope you like it. And let's jump into how to build this bad boy. First of all, build your normal 3x3. I'm going to go out from the fact that you guys know how to build a 3x3. And since this is the basic of this this base, I'm just going to fast forward until we have our main 3x3 tree high. Once you're done building the 3x3 tree high, we're going to start building the outer core. Now, for that, we're going to have to connect triangles the following way. Basically at kind of like a round thingy. And on two sides, you're going to have a long end. So you connect 2 extra triangles on that side, 2 extra on this. Attached to that, you connect 2 squares on every angle, corner I mean. And then you simply connect it with triangles. Now, you could disconnect this if you want to. Really optional. Put the doors here and wall off the rest. Now you're gonna have to wall this off till the height of your 3x3, aka 3 high. This is the first layer. I'm just gonna speed up and until we have the third layer. Alright, so when you're done with the 3-layer high outer shell, so to say, we're gonna have to put roofs, and we're gonna start building on the peak down. So you put roofs, just like how the foundations are under. Do that for 1 layer all the way around. Okay, once you've done the outer layer, we're gonna do the peak down. So you build in on every corner like this. And then close it off like that. Now, you could always build the peak downs different, but I like to do it like this. Make sure you secure the peak downs immediately by adding another wall around. Alright, so once you've built up a wall on the peak down floor, the interesting part of this base is gonna begin. So, it's gonna be interesting because this is the part where we make this into a actual disguised 3x3, therefore its name. And what we're going to do is we're gonna hide this 3x3 under this outer shell and connect it at the same time. So feel free to build like this. This is gonna be your way up, obviously. Make sure you do not put any walls here. It's very important that you don't do that. So same way, we're going to build back in from the outside one time. Once you have done that, instead of building the same pattern here, we're gonna put two squares on both sides like that, and then connect those squares from the inside. Now the rest is just basically filling up the gaps. So that's what I'm gonna do here. There you go. Now, of course, I'm missing the door, but at this point, your base is relatively secure, actually. It's not going to be that much stronger as how it is now, although we're missing a shooting floor. So, if you do want to log out, this is pretty much the best moment to do so, if you can. So, next part I would recommend to build is the external TCs before building the shooting floor, but it's very preference-based. You could build this in stone. So yeah, here's how I like to do my TCs. I basically build out with squares from each center point, so 4 times. Build back with a triangle and build out until I can put a TC. Let me just go and do that quick. So I'm gonna check here. Can't put it here. Can't put it there. So it's one more there. I'm just gonna put the TCs like this. For now, this is not the strongest, but it's the easiest for simplicity's sake of this video. We're gonna build 4 more out. So on that side, it's easy. That's what I call the long side. And here we have the kind of the shorter side. So we do the same thing. Make sure you disconnect that and build it in twig. I think we can put the TC here. Yep. Basically build out until you can place the TC. Now we're gonna repeat this step all around. So see you guys when that's done. Well then, there we are, finished with the TCs. Now it's very important that all your teammates have access to these TCs, because if you're getting raided, TC gets destroyed, the traps are going to be taken over. So I would very much recommend that your entire team has these TCs. Speaks for itself. Now the shooting floor. The shooting floor is very preference based. I guess you could always build, some people like to build it a certain way. I like to build it this way. So I'm just going to build it the way how I like to build my shooting floor. Again, if you think you know a better way, feel free to. This is not the best way, although I like it like this the most. Right, so for the shooting floor, make sure you build it always in twig. I would really recommend that. And I usually add door frames, double door frames, all the way around, like this, just to prevent any stability problems. You'll notice that sometimes you're not able to place a door from a shooting floor. Yeah, just to prevent that from happening, I'm putting frames so that all the doors can be placed. And we put, of course, the windows all around. If I'm going too quick, feel free to slow down the video. This is very basic stuff. Can be quite boring, so I'm just gonna try to do this quick as I can. First, you fill that up with doors, but we're gonna do that in a second. For here, we just put the roofs on. I would recommend to build your shooting floor like this, actually. And the main reason is that, like this, with the roofs on, you could actually do heli. Make sure you do actually decide properly what to upgrade first, where it's very important to upgrade your shooting floor first before doing the outer shell. I would recommend to have this in stone, this in metal, just so you can do heli, just so that your shooting floor is actually strong. If they blow down here, it's fine, but if they take your shooting floor, it's not. So I'd rather have them blow down there and not take your shooting floor than take your shooting floor. So, yeah, for them, we're just gonna close this whole thing off, build another way up. Once again, you can always build the way you want to build. You don't have to build this thing the exact same way as I do. I'm just gonna close off the roof and I'll be back with you guys. Alright, so when you're done with your shooting floor roof, we have pretty much the base finished without doors and all that kind of stuff, of course. Now, there's one more thing that you should know that I would really like to address, and that's I always like to create a kind of like shell around on the shooting floor, I'm not sure if that's how you call it, and have shop fronts / garage doors, where you basically have to go through to get to your shooting floor, and that's just in case you do get online raided and raiders take over your shooting floor. It's important that you have a chance to get back. So doing this, you will be able to take back your shooting floor a lot easier than if this would all be open. Feel free to put garage doors here as well. You could even wall this off entirely. All suggestions that I would do, but make sure to also place turrets here, but we'll get to that in a second. So to finalize up here, just to make the raid cost the same to go through this wall as of through this door. Make sure that door is going to be armored, of course. I like to add like a little kind of corridor here and put 2 garage doors there with a metal door. Just until you have that armored door. It doesn't matter to have this. It actually is, in my opinion, a bit stronger to have this. So it's stronger to go, if raiders go through doors, they have to waste a bit more. But also, you can put turrets in these areas, and you are going to need a bit more, because this blocks vision, of course. But at the same time, the turrets are going to be more covered. So I've had turrets here, and been getting raided around here, and these turrets just literally, they did so much work, it's insane. Either way, another last thing here is the Peakdowns. I like to play with about 8 people. Let's just say you are playing with 8 people. Let's make 8 bedrooms, 2 on each side, walls all around. These walls should probably be rotated, my bet. And rotate these, put quarters in quick. Of course, put also walls between the bedrooms, but yeah, you don't have to make the bedrooms symmetrical. I would not do that. It's not possible in this design anyway. Simply because you have to add some randomness. You're not gonna blow 4 high, although, yeah, you have to expect that some bedrooms might be blown into. Also, bedrooms are perfect for not only to keep beds and gear, you can also put batteries there, and make sure you don't use one room for all your batteries. Use like a battery per room, just to random it up, and just in case they do take one bedroom, they don't have everything. You have a chance they take all the batteries. So that's pretty much it for the build. Now, before we finish this off, I would like to jump into turrets. Doors speak for itself. Use garage doors everywhere. But I do think it's nice to notice the turrets in this base, because they are very strong and they are much needed, especially against online raids. So let's jump into that. Alright, so for turrets, you are gonna have to put as many as you can, although there's a certain priority, I would say, in this particular base. So for the first turret you get, try to secure your inner Peakdowns. what to say. I like to put one on top of the door on both sides. These turrets pretty much cover everything. Should be covering everything. Now, when you get 2 more, I would put them in the center here, and I would start where your door is, and then other side. That's for your inner Peakdowns. Now, next to that, I would put your 5th and 6th turrets on the actual shooting floor. I mean, Peakdowns. And that's just so that raiders have a harder time laddering up here or take your Peakdowns. The Peakdowns on this base are what this base is all about. The angle is what this base is about. And it's very important that your Peakdowns do not get taken over. So spam turrets here, whatever. At least put 2. Then you can start by putting turrets under all the way ups. I would start here on your Peakdown floor and then actually put another one here. After these 2 turrets, I would put turrets guarding these 2 garage doors. Raiders are more likely to blow through garage doors and not through shop fronts, but you never know. Put them like this, just to guard that. You can put shotgun traps there too and there as well. I would really... Either way, then start putting turrets under your jump ups. So right there, etc. And you could also end up putting turrets in your corridor. Anyway, if raiders get this deep and you're offline, these turrets don't matter anyway. Better to put them here in case the raiders that are raiding you offline get countered, or if you're getting online raided, these turrets are gonna do the work. So that's where you're gonna have to put them. For any extra turrets, I like to put them up above pretty much everything on little triangles, and you could basically fill your inner Peakdowns in with as much turrets as you can. Now, remember your shooting floor, people are able to boost in, so make sure you keep that in mind. That's why this is also so important. But I would not really recommend to put turrets here. They're most likely gonna get blown up by helis, or people are gonna find a weird way to drain them anyway. So you could also put turrets on the outside. But then again, these can be seen, so they are already a lot weaker because raiders know they are there. If they raid this, open it up, and all the turrets are in here, it's a lot stronger in my opinion. So that's it for turrets. That's how to build this base. I'm going to go out from the fact you know how to fill in these, and you know how to build loot rooms and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I hope you like this base. I'll definitely be making a lot more. There's actually already a V2 version coming from this base. Just in a different way, kind of. And yeah, once again, it's not the strongest base against offline raids, but it's definitely a base I really like to build. So yeah, without anything, this base actually only costs 2,100 metal frags, and of course you're gonna have to armor up the whole 3x3. That's what I would recommend you end up doing. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care.